Good evening. So let's start this current affairs. Today we are going to deal few issues. First, right to walk. Fine. So right to walk, they have made what? They have made right to walk as a fundamental right. So fundamental rights are mentioned in which part of the Constitution? In the part 3 of the Constitution, Article 12 to 35. So few things like this is an important judgment, though it do not seems very important, but it is a very important article with respect to fundamental right. And if you'll see what Supreme Court judgment have actually said, that judgment declared that walking on the demarcated and maintained footpaths. So who demarcates and maintain the footpaths in India? Who demarcates and maintain the footpath in India? See, we have 3 layers of the government structure in our country. One is a union government, other is a state government, constitutional bodies. 73rd and 74th Amendment have given them to a not just a legal status, but a constitutional status. Purpose was to make sure the third tier or the most important tier of the governance should work on regular and continuous basis. So in India, these are the institutions who have the power or responsibility to demarcate and maintain footpaths. National highways, roads, they comes under whom? They comes under union and state structure, but highways and this footpaths, they will come under whom? They will come under the municipal government. Now, when Supreme Court declares something as a fundamental right, anything declared by the Supreme Court as a fundamental right, what it changes? What change is there when Supreme Court is going to declare this is a fundamental right? Once it is declared as a fundamental right, now you have the right against the state. You have right against the state means what? If your fundamental right is abridged, now you can directly reach to where? High Court as well as Supreme Court. Which article? Article 32 and Article 226. So these 2 articles empowers public citizens of India to reach where? Supreme Court and High Court directly. So remember that High Court and Supreme Court have original jurisdiction in the case of fundamental right. Here, one more thing you have to understand. Original and exclusive and original. So, in India, High Courts and Supreme Court both are constitutional courts. Fine. Constitutional court means they can listen the case related to any provision of the Constitution. Fine. So they can interpret the part of the Constitution. But the interpretation of the Constitution of any part and fundamental right are 2 different things. High courts have a power, they can go for interpretation of Constitution and they can go for only fundamental rights. Supreme Court have a power to interpret any part of the Constitution and not just only interpret. It may make it constitutional or unconstitutional also. So when you are going to amend the Constitution, fine. So you are going to amend the Constitution. So in this case of amendment, where you can reach? Suppose government have made any amendment to the Constitution. Where you can reach? Can you reach High Court and Supreme Court both or only High Court? Where you can reach? You can reach both courts, High Courts as well as what? Supreme Court. So technically speaking, only few things are there where Supreme Court have original and exclusive jurisdiction. For example, if there is any case between union and state. So if any case is there where who are the party? If there is a case where union at one side, state as another side. For example, in today's economy lecture, I was telling to the students regarding Article 293. So Article 293 gives power of borrowing to states. So the states' power to borrow is defined under Article 293 of Constitution. But the clause 3 of this act, empowers union to restrict the borrowing, or state need consent of whom? Union to borrow. So Article 293 give a power to whom? Give a power to states to do what? Borrow. So when states want to borrow, they have to go under which article? 293 of Constitution. And Article 3 of the Constitution, Clause 3 of the Constitution, this article says that if state has already borrowed from the center and not paid at yet, and you want to further borrow, then you have to take a consent of whom? Union. And this provision of the Constitution was challenged by state of Kerala. State of Kerala says that this provision is creating a hurdle for government of the state to borrow smoothly, because center sometimes deliberately create this issue. So where Kerala can go? Can Kerala go to the High Court? Answer is no. Kerala can go against union at where? Only in the Supreme Court. So when you are the court, you are a court who can listen that case only. No other court have this power. Then the term is used as a exclusive jurisdiction of the court. So in the case of center versus state, state versus state, state versus few states. So if it will be like this, suppose there is a case where one side union versus state, union versus states, fine, union versus states, state versus state, again states versus states. So all these cases are exclusively for whom? Supreme Court. So there is a term called exclusive, fine, means only you. Original, you as well as other court. For example, when we talk about fundamental right, so in the case of fundamental right, Supreme Court and High Court both have the power to listen the court case, fine. So that will come under what? That will come under original jurisdiction of the High Court and Supreme Court. So what is original jurisdiction? Original jurisdiction means it is given to you. It is given to you by the Constitution. So when Constitution is given to you, but there are the other courts, like in the case of fundamental right. So fundamental right, High Court and Supreme Court both can listen the case. We call it as a original jurisdiction. But when the case is exclusively for one court only, no other court is being allowed, then it is called as a exclusive jurisdiction. So in the case of fundamental right, both High Court and Supreme Court have a power to decide, fine. So now right to walk on the footpath is fundamental right, fine, is a fundamental right. Now outside this building there is an RTO office, or registrar office, and majority of the time the footpath is blocked by whom? Parking, illegal parking or unauthorized parking. So if the municipal law of state of Telangana, Hyderabad says that this is an footpath for public usage and it is being occupied by some unauthorized construction or illegal parking, now you can directly reach to where? Supreme Court or even the High Court of the state of Telangana and raise this matter. Earlier architecture, Earlier architecture says that if it is being a footpath and occupied by some illegal parking or some illegal construction or illegal vendors, and if you have an issue, then you have to file an appeal at where? Municipal office. We are facing difficulty, you have to submit your request, and municipal officials are going to act on that. But now you can directly go to where? High Court. And in this case, High Court is going to summon whom? It is going to issue the notice to the municipal commissioner and state secretary also, why this footpath is occupied. Means now the courts are more approachable in the case of even a small issue like a walking on the footpath. So this is why it is significant. Means now courts are going to take in the cognizance if any illegal way of blocking of the footpath. But here one question arises. Why courts, especially Supreme Court, is being forced to declare as a fundamental right? Many cases we have seen that it is not naturally. It came after long jurisprudence process. Fine, right to life. Fine, right to life. So right to life, right to privacy. So right to privacy become a fundamental right. But it become a fundamental right after long battle being fight at where? Courts in India. So why it require a court to decide something as a right? It is not court. It should be coming from the legislature. Legislatures, because legislatures are being here to represent the people. And something is right or not right. RIGST. Fine. So something is your right or something is not your right. Fine. It should be the matter of debate between the people of the country, the civil society, and then the political class. And if any dispute arises, then it should become what? Fundamental right. So right to walk on the footpath, it shows that the governance deficit in the country. So it is not something like a matter of a debate where is a right or not right. Actually, it's a governance crisis which forced the court to take the matter in their direct cognizance. Fine, because now courts in India, Supreme Court have realized that walking on the footpath is no longer being a matter which can be solved only intervention at what level? Municipal level. So that need more intervention where the state authority can be directly called. And that is why they declare what? That is why they declare as a fundamental right. Fine. Whereas if you see the case of right to privacy, where whether you have a right of privacy against the state or not. Fine. So in the right to privacy case, what happened? State means country. Fine. State have a responsibility to protect as well as provide the welfare to the public. In order to protect, state sometimes need to gather and collect certain data. Similarly, for the welfare purpose, also state want to collect certain data. Fine. For example, you have decided to provide free food grain to all people who are under the below poverty line. So in order to provide food to the people who are under the below poverty line, you need to collect the data of the people, their identity and their data. So now question arises, to what extent state can collect the data? I believe that I do not want to give my data unnecessarily to whom? State. Because state can use that data to put a surveillance on me without any purpose. So here the matter of reach, who can reach to what extent arises. So such cases can be settled by whom? Court through the judicial process. It is understood. But actually it is very sad where judiciary have to intervene and call walking on the footpath is a fundamental right. So it become a fundamental right. Of course, now the citizens of India are having more comfort and they can reach the court. But actually it shows what? It shows a governance crisis in the country. Fine. So that is why we have put here in the, so see, the ruling converts the pedestrian safety from the routine municipal service to an enforceable constitutional duty. It links walking with the freedom of the movement under Article 19, Clause 1, Clause D. So it is related to not to right to life. It is related to under which article? Article 19, Clause 1, Clause D. So you have to keep this thing in the mind from the exam point of view, especially from the prelims point of view. What you have to keep in the mind? The fundamental right to walk on the pedestrian street is related to which article? Article 19, Clause 1, Clause D. It comes under this thing. Now, Indian urban planning has often treated as road as a corridors for vehicles rather than common public space. Maybe this is not very common to you, fine, but it is like, this is not a, like Delhi, fine. Delhi, majority of the pedestrian places, you will even not able to understand it's a pedestrian street. You will consider it's a parking slot. Majority of the places, they are actually parking slot. So the judgment actually came for whom? Especially whom? Delhi people. Because if I'll tell about myself, I spent like 2004 onwards. 2004 onwards till then 2020, I was there. Majority of the places, especially where the High Court and Supreme Court is there. For example, Delhi High Court. Fine. So outside the Delhi High Court, if you'll go to that area, entire pedestrian street is occupied by the vehicle. And whose vehicle? Those who are in the court. Fine. So those who are attending the court, fine, being as a representative in the court, as a lawyer, or you are being there to represent yourself in the court. So these people have occupied that street. And for a long time, people thought that it is a parking place. It's a parking place. Now that is no longer be a what? Parking place. It is going to be proper pedestrian street. So still pedestrian have a hesitation. Is I am doing something wrong or something right? Because you have never seen that as a street. You have always seen as a what? Parking slot. So imagine you born there and you have studied there. You are daily seeing that place as a parking place. So for you it is a what? Parking place. But one order of the court have made it what? A pedestrian street. Now you are walking on that area where you have never walked. Though it is near to your house. Fine. Now you are able to walk as a street. Fine. And you know that in that area, the parking people have proper vendor. So you have to park your vehicle, then get the parking ticket, and then you can go there. Fine. Now this area is no more occupied by whom? No more occupied by these parking vendors. So one student, he posted his photo walking on the street. Fine. He sent me and he said that, sir, see, I'm walking on the street. मैंने कहा ये क्या कहते? Walking on the street, what do you mean? Then he told his story. I born and brought up in this place. Fine, I born and brought up in this place. But after the Supreme Court's order, next day some people went to the court and they have requested and court have issued the notice. Delhi High Court have issued the notice. And then this street is being vacant. So see, the intervention of the judiciary in civil matters, rights, it is not considered as something need to be celebrated. Actually, it is something which shows a deep issue of a urban management in the country and rural management in the country. This case is especially urban area, with respect to the urban area. Fine. So footpaths are broken, encroached, absent, all these things. Now, constitutional and statutory hooks. So as I mentioned, which article? 19 clause 1, clause D. Second, 73rd constitutional, 74th constitutional amendment. See, there are the two amendments. One is 73rd and other is 74th. 73rd is for rural and 74th for urban. So 74th Constitutional Amendment 1992 inserted part 9A and 12th schedule. How many subjects? 18 subjects. So mention there which amendment? 74th amendment. 74th amendment, which part is inserted? Part 9 is being inserted. And that is having how many subjects? 18 subjects are being there in this one. Fine. Now, few things you also have to keep in the mind. Motor Vehicle Act 1988. Amendment Act when? 2019. Though amendment is not required, in India we have a Motor Vehicle Act governs vehicle and licensing, but is silent on pedestrian infrastructure. So pedestrian infrastructure, vehicle is being there, registration is being there, but it is not speaking anything on what? Anything on this. State Municipal Acts and Town Planning Acts vest road and footpath responsibility under urban local bodies. So even if you do not recall this provision, it's fine. But this provision you must recall if any matter related to this topic will appear in the mains examination, and in the prelims examination that can be made a statement. Consider the following statement about right to walk on pedestrian street. Fine. And this might be directly put as a statement. State Municipal Act and Town Planning. Now, person with a disability, 2016, mandate barrier-free access in the public infrastructure. Fine. How many of you are aware of this? Person with a Disability Act mandates barrier-free access of public infrastructure. Was you aware of this? Fine. Now, Indian Roads Congress Code, IRC, this article 103-2012 on pedestrian facilities and urban street design guidelines. Fine. Now, which schemes can be correlated with? So, see, this judgment, which part of the constitution and legal structure it can be correlated. Judgment says that now walking on the street is a fundamental right. But walking on the street can be related to what part of the constitution? We must know that. So what we have did here, like first I have mentioned the constitutional hooks from where the constitution can be attached. Then the legal process, now the government schemes. So Smart City Mission, Amrut 2.0, PM E-Bus, last mile and non-motorized transport infrastructure. These are the schemes which is related to pedestrian and walking on the pedestrian street. So pedestrian infrastructure need to be improved under which mission? Smart City Mission and Amrut Mission, for making sure that people are going to have an easy way to commute. PM E-Bus Seva Fund. Last mile and non-motorized transportation infrastructure. Last mile means when you are in coaching institute and you are going back to your home, and the last mile is the last mile when you are about to reach your home, that is last mile. What is last mile means here? Suppose your house is 10 kilometers away. So after completing the class, when you are going to reach your home back, so you have covered 9 kilometers. Now what left? Last mile is left. That is last mile. What is last mile? Yes. So the connectivity to the remotest area. So when you are able to connect the remotest area of the country, then we use the term last mile connectivity. India have a vast geographical territory. Fine. And this vast geographical territory have different kind of the terrain, and especially in the hilly terrain of northeast, where are multiple villages where you are living. Even not only in northeast, even the Himachal, there are certain villages which are still away from any kind of the electricity and mobile connectivity. Fine. So you have to walk or you have to travel at least 6 to 7 hours, only then you will reach in the proper infrastructure. So in order to connect these areas, we need a scheme like this: last mile connectivity and non-motorized infrastructure. Fine. So I have also mentioned about earlier ruling. So this earlier ruling is not important for the exam. These earlier ruling is for the purpose of developing the understanding. So one thing you have to keep in your mind is certain things which are mentioned in the notes or in the article or at some place. All things are not related to exam only. There are certain things which can provide you the base and context. So here I have mentioned the context, certain context in which they have mentioned. Now I have also added a cross-country comparison like Vision Zero, Sweden, and Complete Street in US frame the pedestrian primary as a design and policy paradigm. So not only India, other countries are also having their law related to walking on the pedestrian street. Now, for the mains point of view, for mains, the judgment can be used to show judicial expansion of rights in everyday governance. It also strengthens the idea of constitutional urbanism. अब एग्जाम में एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन आ जाएगा. In the exam, they will ask a very simple short question. Write a short note on constitutional urbanism. And public is going to scratch his head. What is urban constitutionalism? So can you describe what is urban constitutionalism? Huh? Or constitutional urbanism? Constitutional urbanism. Can you define constitutional urbanism? What is urbanization or urbanism? What is urban? What is urban? What is rural? Rural is rural, urban is urban. What is not urban, that is rural, that is not rural, that is urban. Huh? More than 5,000, it is urban. Based on density of what? That is urban area. %75% of the people should be non-agriculture. See, population density and the work profile of the particular area basically used for the defining area is a rural area or urban area. Once an area is defined as an urban area, that comes under 12th schedule, and the area which is not an urban area, it is by default what area? Rural area. If it is not an urban area, then what area it is? So what need to be notified? The area should be notified as a rural area, then urban area. Suppose there is an area in India, there is a particular area. So by default, this area will be what? Urban area or rural area? Consider any territory in India. So by default, it will be urban area, or by default, it will be rural area, or what area? By default, until unless it is not categorized as an urban area or tribal area or specially recognized area, it is only a rural area. So area is a rural area until unless it is being notified as a notified area or urban area, fine, or tribal area. For example, PSUs, public sector enterprises. So public sector enterprises, there are big public sector enterprises. For example, Vizag steel plant. It is almost a kind of a city. Fine, it is having the kind of a size which is a size of a city. Fine. So such areas are notified area, which is being notified by the government. This area is for some kind of the special activity. One more criteria, like special economic zone. Fine. So they are also being notified by whom? By the law. So law notified all the kind of area, urban area, special economic zone area, PSU area, port area, fine, military cantonment area. So area is a military cantonment area. What is cantonment? Hyderabad is having such a big cantonment area. In fact, one of the biggest in the country. Half of the city of the Hyderabad is in the control of Cant. Usually people call Cant. Cantonment area. So cantonment area is an area where armed force personnel reside on permanent basis. Fine. So there's a permanent resident of armed forces. So that is the cantonment area. Fine. Have you went to the cantonment area ever in your life? What you have observed when you go to the cantonment area? Roads are neat and clean, properly demarcated, each and everything. And when you come out of that area and you come under the municipal jurisdiction, then you automatically realize that I came outside the cantonment area. So everything is proper demarcated, mentioned each and everything. Why? Because their municipal work is managed by armed forces only. The municipal corporation of city, or for example GHMC. So GHMC do not have a jurisdiction to maintain the municipal activities in that area. That will be maintained by whom? That will be maintained by Armed Forces Board. So they will create a separate board and they will manage with that. So India have 7 different type of the areas to be categorized in the different categories. And one more is tribal area. For example, in many part of the Northeast, like in Nagaland, if you want to enter in that area, you need a proper permit. Without that, you are not allowed to enter. Fine, you are not allowed to enter. In other words, you need a kind of a passport, or not passport, sorry, visa. So visa is a kind of a travel document. So similarly, in certain parts of India, if you want to travel, you need a travel document because they are notified tribal area. And that area management or the area authority can impose certain restrictions. Even in the certain areas of scheduled tribal areas and scheduled area, all the provisions of BNS, they are not applicable there. Fine, all the articles are not applicable there. They have special things. So the point is, in India, any area is a rural area until unless it is not notified in the particular category. Now you have categorized as an urban area. Now again, urban area is further categories like municipal corporations, municipalities, and municipal council. So if it is a small urban area, municipal council. If it is getting a population up to 1 lakh, it is going to be the municipality. And when it is going to have more than 10 lakh population, 50 lakh population, then it is going to be what? Then it is going to be the municipal corporation. So Hyderabad is having municipal corporation. Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, GHMC. Fine. NDMC, New Delhi Municipal Corporation. So Delhi is a union territory. Fine. And they have basically 3 different type of the municipal corporation. So municipal management, fine, they actually look for the urban areas. So urban area management comes under 12th schedule. How many parts? Total 18 in the list. Fine. And here, '74th Constitutional Amendment, Part 9A, Article 243P to Article ZG is the 12th schedule list under urban planning, road and bridges, regulation of the land use among the 18 municipal subjects. So what municipal subjects are going to be related to it? One is urban planning, other is road and bridges, and third is regulation of the land use. So these are the 3 things which is getting impacted because of Supreme Court's judgment. Means now municipal corporations are going to have a bigger headache. Bigger headache, why? Because now public can reach to where? Court in order to address these matters. So do you think it is going to make certain good changes? Positive changes? or it is just going to increase the litigation in the courts? What do you think? It is just going to increase the litigation, more litigation in the court, or it is really going to make certain positive changes in the urban governance in the country? No views, no opinion. Both. How both? Do you think that courts have this amount of time and space to listen these matters when they are already having such a long pendency? If the Supreme Court is going to resolve the pendencies, Supreme Court, I'm not talking about the High Courts, Supreme Court, by the pace Supreme Court is going to taking this judgment, even if you are going to increase the number of judges in the Supreme Court to 100, fine. So from today onwards, if you are going to increase the number of judges in the Supreme Court to 100, still Supreme Court need next 24 years to finish all the pendency. And in such a huge pendency in the courts in India, one more right is declared as a fundamental right, which is going to push many cases further. So there is a word called satire. Fine. So it is becoming a satire where you are enjoying, but actually you know that it is going to create more chaos. Fine, more cases are going to be listed. But the positive side is what? The positive side is if something is important and urgent to be here by the constitutional courts in India like High Court and Supreme Court, now even a small case like pedestrian access can be reached to where? Court. Fine. And you can go to this question also. The right to walk judgment constitute everyday urban governance discussed with the reference to pedestrian safety, municipal accountability, and inclusive mobility. So see, I have discussed the topic with you. Fine. Question is in front of you. Can you write the answer? Yes or no? See, this is class. This is not a kind of a auction where you have to raise your hand only when you have a sufficient money to invest on that. Bhai, mujhe answer karo. Answer my question. Are you able to write this question or not? If yes, then write this question in your notebook and attempt it your house. I will provide you the model answer. Model answer will be given to you in whatever the group you are. Fine, WhatsApp group you are, you will get the model answer of this question. The right to walk judgment constitutionalize everyday urban governance. Discuss with the reference to pedestrian safety, municipal accountability, and inclusive mobility. So this question is putting few things. One is most important word, urban governance, with reference to pedestrian safety, municipal accountability, and inclusive mobility. So here two very important terms are here. One is related to what? Urban governance and municipal accountability. So if urban governance was right and if the municipal accountability is still there, then you never going to have such judgments in India where courts are being forced to declare walking on the street as a fundamental right. So this clearly shows that deficit in urban governance and municipal accountability. So how you will open the answer? If it is a 10 marker or 15 marker, fine. Two possibilities of the question is being there. 10 marker means introduction should be limited to 2 lines, not more than 2 lines. So you can directly start with the statement कि recently Supreme Court have declared. Fine. अब आपको केस नहीं याद आ रहा. Suppose you are not able to recall the case. Under what case Supreme Court said that? It is not an issue because it is not something very important where you have to remember the case. Fine. When something is going to be mentioned again and again at multiple places, then it is required you should mention the case. For example, right to privacy. Which case need to be mentioned? Puttaswamy and Shreya Singhal both. Shreya Singhal case, Might be some people who are listening online, fine, and those who are listening in the class. Many of you are a beginner. For you, maybe it is surprising. Fine. So this also happened with us when we are sitting in the class and teacher said that it is this case, and we are like, "Bhai, kaun sa case tha ye?" ठीक है? We have never heard that. Fine, and we are in tension. Ki, bhai, why? Because some of the people in the class, even teachers said that. Do you know about this case? Like, for example, 𝐃𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐺 case. Fine. So teacher in the class, he spoke about the basic structure doctrine, and he was about to say which case related to basic structure. Sir, 𝐃𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐺 case. And good. अब हम सोच रहे हैं कि we are thinking about कि 𝐃𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐺 था कौन, ठीक है? Who was he and why it came into the picture? And it was really tension for us because it is almost 6 months and we are studying for the civil services and we do not have an idea. And this our fellow having the good idea, and now we have utmost respect for him. Ki bhai, you are what? You are a genius. Fine. And he failed 4 times in the prelims. Fine. But at that moment, he earned our respect. Ki bhai, he is a knowledgeable guy. So this is also story of Ashok Nagar. So please be little bit careful and little bit careful about these legends. Fine. So there are legends, there are ultra pro max legends. Fine. So these ultra pro max legends are very dangerous. Fine. So something which you are listening first time and it is important. It doesn't mean that you have not did any work. It means that you are new to this field and you have to do rigorous practice, reading, revising, writing, and you will also gain the knowledge. Simple. This is not an exam where your IQ is being tested. This is the exam where your resilience, your discipline, and your integrity, how you are going to do your work without any failure, that is going to be tested. So please do not be very worried. Ki, I do not know that. You will work and you will also know that. Simple. Fine. So don't be in a kind of a scaredness. Ki, I do not know this. Fine. I will read and I will also understand. Simple. If you know that, then consolidate it. So here there is no need to worry if you do not know the judgment. But certain things which are recurring in the nature and they are being coming again and again, again and again. Fine. For example, right to privacy. It will come again and again. So here you should know that Puttaswamy case and Shreya Singhal case that need to be known by you. Fine. But in this case, what you will start? You will write recently Supreme Court. If you can recall, in June 2026, Supreme Court have declared right to walk on the street as a fundamental right. This judgment have given a scope for a public to reach constitutional courts in India. However, same time, it is also question judicial. It is also questions municipal accountability and urban governance in India. Up introduction ready. So do you know that majority of the time introduction is coming only from the keywords of the question itself. So आपको कोई ready-made ready नहीं करना है. There are some legends who cleared the civil services and they said that prepare ready-made introductions. 4 or 5 category. You need not to go for this 4 or 5 category of opening statement. Opening statement of the answer and the closing statement of the answer is always coming from what? The question keyword itself. So there is no need to be worried about the opening and closing statement of the question. Opening statement of the question is questioning the keywords of the question, and the closing statement of the answer is going to justify those keywords. So this is how we open and how we will close. And in this question, we will examine 3 things. What? Urban governance, municipal accountability, inclusive mobility. And in the inclusive mobility, we have to give 1 or 2 points related to what? Pedestrian safety. So how the flow of the question is, you have given the opening statement, then you have to directly write on what? Urban governance constitutional structure. Then you have to mention what? Municipal accountability. Then you have to go for what? Inclusive mobility with respect to what? Pedestrian safety. And the last you have mentioned pedestrian safety. From here, you can say that the pedestrian safety over the period of time become a bigger issue in India. And that is why courts was forced to intervene in this matter by declaring right to walk on the street as a fundamental right. This judgment of the Supreme Court is a landmark in the nature, but at the same time, it questions the urban governance and municipal accountability. So on one side, that need to be improved from the legislative and executive side. But apart from this, now the work of legislature and executive can directly under the supervision of whom? Supervision of high courts and Supreme Court. So now the High Court and Supreme can directly oversee the accountability related to whom? Municipal works. Fine. So in this way, write an answer. Tomorrow answer will be uploaded in your respective WhatsApp group. Whatever batch you are, you will get it. Fine. Now, let's move to the next news. This is important one. And now here what will come? Shreya Singhal case and the case of Puttaswamy case will come. Section 69A of what? Information Technology Act. Related to what? Related to information. What kind of the information? Text, audio, video or image. It covers social media or all media. All kind of the source which provide the information, they are being covered in this case. So Delhi High Court have upheld. What they have upheld? The ban on whom? Students' beloved fine source of communication where they can remain in disguise and they can communicate with anyone without being mentioned their identity. And here you are going to least get the good morning spam messages from your family group. Fine. So every family, every person have one family WhatsApp group, and there are some certain uncle and aunties who are going to bombard morning, afternoon, evening, devotional and spiritual, religious messages. And you sometimes think how immoral I am, because every time you are going to get such messages. But Telegram is a place where you are remain in what? Remain in disguise. Gangadhari Shaktiman. Fine. So the Gangadhar in the WhatsApp becomes Shaktiman at where? Telegram, because he is remain in disguise. So Telegram is worldwide very popular platform, fine, among the people. But this Telegram and especially to remain incognitive, fine, remain incognitive also allow a space for notorious activities. So government realized that Telegram is also a platform which is facilitating such things, especially when the NEET paper was cancelled. Government's investigation found that the majority of the information have been flowed through what channel? Telegram. So that is why government have decided to go for temporary ban. Fine, temporary ban on whom? Telegram. And then Telegram have reached to where? High Court. Against whom? Government's ban. Fine. Why High Court? The reason is High Courts in India have a territorial jurisdiction. So territorial jurisdiction means what? If an organization is having any issue with the respect to the government, they can go to Supreme Court or they can go to that court from where they have registered office. So in this case, Telegram, who have a registered office at where? Delhi, they have reached to the Delhi High Court and asking to revoke this temporary ban. Government have used which section? Section 69A in order to ban on whom? Temporary ban on Telegram. So the case is significant because it accepts at least in these facts that blocking may extend beyond individual links, channel to the platform level. That is why this judgment is important. Judgment is not important with respect to Telegram. Judgment is important because this judgment have validated. See, earlier government was banning particular channel. Fine, YouTube channel ban kar diya. Fine, not banning entire YouTube. government have banned certain YouTube channel. For example, during the Operation Sindoor, government have banned certain Pakistani-based channel to be broadcasted in India. And not only those radical one. In fact, famous cricketers like Shoaib Akhtar's channel is also being blocked. He was crying because he was getting good number of views from where? India, and making good amount of income. He was widely followed. Many Pakistani channels are being widely followed. YouTube channels are being widely followed in India. And that is why that is a very good source of income for them, because YouTube reward you on the basis of number of views. Fine. But government have banned. So government's ban on those channels was not based on security of the country. Shoaib Akhtar in his channel, he is not speaking against India and he is not doing anti-India activity on his channel. Government have banned because government found that they are monetizing their channel, they are earning income through whom? Indians, and that money is used against whom? India itself. But was that ban is challenged in India in any court? No, it was not challenged. Government have used the same article. During Operation Sindoor, government have banned many of the channels, many of the accounts, but not challenged at where? Court. But now when the platform is being banned, platform service provider reached to where? Court. So this judgment have validated government blocking may extend beyond individual links, channel to platform level. So it's a kind of an alarm bell for whom? All grams, Telegram, Instagram, kilogram, jitne bhi grams hain, all they have to be little bit careful, because now platform can also be banned, and it is upheld by whom? High Court. Though it can be further challenged to where? Supreme Court, but government have put a temporary ban. So it is not being challenged, because by the time you are going to challenge the Supreme Court, by the time ban is already over. But if any platform is going to be banned for 1 month, fine. Suppose that Instagram is going to ban for 6 months. UPSC have requested to the government that students are using too much Instagram, so kindly ban it for at least 3 months before the prelims exam. And only those students who are appearing for the civil services. Fine. So those people who are having account on the Instagram, it is going to be banned by whom? Government. Be focused on civil services exam. Do not use the social media. It is for your greater benefit. Will you agree with this? Will you agree with this? If government is going to do this, don't do this. This or this. This is nothing. Why? So I do not understand this. You have to say this, yes, no. Yes or no? Yes. 2 अकाउंट बना रखे हैं इसने. Right? So, see, tell me, are you going to support this idea of the government? Every parents in India is going to support. Sir, सब कुछ ban कर दो. ठीक है? Even ban his movement also. Fine? He should not go to anywhere else, to the institute, library, and other things. Ban everything. He should be focused only on what? Studies. And the same parents are sending you also the reels. You see, he got the success and you are not doing anything. And same parents are going to say that, ban it. Fine? Ban it. So this is a funny thing, usually happens in the society. Fine? Society feels that that should be gag order on something, but at the same time, when it is moving towards back to them, they are not taking it in the right spirit. So it is not right when government is going to do certain things. It will become under moral policing. Fine? You are enough mature to understand what is good, what is bad for you. Fine? So such ban should not be basis on certain things. And this is what actually came in the Shreya Shinghal case, and then actually in the Puttaswamy case. Supreme Court in the Puttaswamy case have put total 8 conditions, 4 plus 4 condition, and they have mentioned until unless these conditions are being satisfied, you cannot ban social media platform or any other platform. Though in this case, like here, Section 69A empowers the government to issue blocking directions in a specified grounds such as sovereignty, security of the state, public order, and related concern. Which one is vague? Sovereignty, security of the state, public order, and related concern. So which one is used during the ban on the NEET? Which one is banned? Which one is used to ban the social media platform? Sovereignty, security of the state, public order, or related concern? What they have used? What they have used? They have used related concern with respect to what? Public order. Here, sovereignty and security of the state was not in a question. During Operation Sindoor, the first two provisions was used when government have banned certain channels, certain links, certain accounts. Then it was being used. But this time they have not used, but they have used only public order and related concern. Normally the debate is whether the state should block specific content or whether temporary platform-wide blocking is permissible when urgency and the repeat circumvention are shown. Statutory architecture, focus here because it is related to the prelims exam specifically. Section 69A of the IT Act 2000 inserted by IT Amendment Act 2008 empowers central government or its authorized officer to block public access to any information generated, transmitted, received, stored or hosted on grounds enumerated in Article 19 Clause 2. 19 Clause 2 क्या बोलता है? What Article 19 Clause 2 says that? Clause 1 what says that? अभी बताया just Clause 1. Freedom of speech. Fine. So see, it's a very famous saying about the freedom. The most famous saying about the freedom is your freedom ends where my nose starts. I told this thing earlier also. Your freedom ends where my nose starts. So whenever the freedom is being there, freedom is going to come with the certain conditions. So that is why that is not called freedom, it is called liberty. Fine, but is touted as what? Freedom of expression, freedom of speech. So freedom is having certain restrictions. Article 19 Clause 1 provide you the freedom and Article 19 Clause 2 provides restrictions on those freedoms. Fine. So you can revolve your umbrella stick. Fine. That is your freedom under Article 19. But from where my nose starts, the Article 19 Clause 2. So Clause 1 give you the freedom. Clause 2 of Article 19 provides what? That provides restrictions. Fine. Now here it is clearly mentioned, those students who do not have an idea, they can write that also. Article 19 Clause 2 of Indian Constitution limits the fundamental rights to freedom of speech and expression. It empowers the state to enact laws imposing reasonable restrictions on freedom of speech. And on what basis? On what basis you can restrict? Sovereignty and integrity of India, security of India, friendly relation with the foreign state also. So if you are going to speak too much against Vladimir Putin and government of India is going to feel that India-Russia relations maybe get hurt, then your YouTube channel can be blocked. Fine. It can be blocked or banned because your speech or your expressions are creating a problem with a friendly relation with whom? Russia. Can it happen with the China also? If you are running a YouTube channel where you are speaking about China and government have banned it because you are speaking too much against China, can government is going to ban it? If you are going to speak too much against China on your YouTube channel, do you think government is going to ban it? Yes or no? It can be banned. Why? Because both countries are trying to improve their relation. But your consistent content is going to create a kind of a disinformation and might be it is going to impact the relation between whom? Might be relation between India and China. In that context, that might be banned. Fine. Now, public order, decency or morality. Fine. This is the most contested part. Decency and morality. So here you are giving the scope to whom? Scope to state to go for moral policing. So on the basis of moral policing, can state ban certain things? Answer is yes. It is provided under Article 19, Clause 2. Then contempt of court, defamation, incitement to an offense, prevent encouraging or provoking others to commit a crime. Don't go to Lohargarh Fort. Fine. Fine. So now they have committed the crime. Now they are putting a blame on each other. She forced me and he forced me. Fine. So if you are going to have your channel or broadcast or something like that, and where you are telling the people, do this, fine, then what will happen? Then you will be banned. Do you remember Sonam Wakchuk? Sonam Wakchuk. Fine. What happened with him? He was detained. Fine. What he was doing according to the government? No, it was not anti-government protest. He was charged for this. He was charged for this. You are pushing the people to do crime. You are pushing the people to do this. You do not want to go to the jail, and that is why you are pushing to your people. My followers, you are not my followers. You are part of my heart. Fine. And I know that for our justice, you are going to hit those people. Fine. And now you started hitting and you are damaging the private property and government property. So those people who are doing those crime, only not they will be prosecuted. Those people who are doing this to push them to do certain activities, they will be also being punished by using this provision to ensure these restrictions are not misused. This is very important, to ensure these restrictions are not misused. Reasonable. Fine. Reasonable. The scope of what is considered reasonable is ultimately determined by whom? Indian judiciary. So the reasonability of the ban under Article 19, Clause 2. So what you have to keep in the mind, Article 19, Clause 1, freedom of speech and expression. Article 19, Clause 2, restrictions on freedom of speech and expression. And the freedom of speech and expression can be restricted only on the basis of what? Reasonability. And who is going to ultimately decide whether it is reasonable or not reasonable? Judiciary. Which courts? Supreme Court and High Court. Fine. The constitutional courts in India, they can decide whether it is reasonable or not. Fine. Now, see. Procedure is governed by information technology procedure for safeguards for blocking of a public access of the information. Please pay attention to here. Okay. Directions originated means how government put a ban on it. So Telegram pe ban kaise laga? Today I will let you know how the Telegram is banned by government. What is the process of putting a ban on Telegram? So first, direction originated with designated officer. What level? Joint secretary. Fine. You do not need to join two secretaries. That is a position called as joint secretary. Which ministry? Mighty. Stand for Ministry of Ministry of Electronics. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. TY stand for technology. Mighty. Fine. So there is a joint secretary level officer in the Mighty. A committee examines request, and in the emergency rule 9 permits interim blocking by the secretary Mighty with post facto review. Have you understood this? So there is a process. Process means what will happen? A joint secretary level officer is going to make a request. We want to ban that thing. This will be banned by whom? This will be banned only when it is being reviewed by whom? Committee. examines the request. So committee will examine the request. If request is valid, then committee will recommend ban it. But if it is an urgent, then who? Rule 9 permits interim blocking by whom? Secretary. So secretary can directly block what? That particular platform. So in the case of Telegram, what happened? In the case of Telegram, Rule 9 was being used. So under Rule 9, Section 69A, Rule 9 was being used, and they have put a ban, interim ban, and then the review will be placed. So if it is an urgently need to ban, then you can use what? Rule 9 to ban it on immediate basis. Review will happen on later. So this is why post facto review. So word post facto means what? When you are going to do something after doing it. ठीक है, आपने मर्डर कर दिया, you have murdered a person, and then you are thinking that have I did it right or wrong? Post facto analysis. Don't do that. Fine. You should not do that, just for making you to understand what is post facto review. After doing something, when you are going to review, that is called post facto. Now, section 69, clause 69A, then clause 3 prescribes imprisonment up to how much? 7 years for intermediaries that fail to comply. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, they can be put at where? Indian jail for how many years? 7 years. So are they going to be jailed? No. Those who are running those platforms in India. So recently, when Indian person is being recognized as a CEO of what? WhatsApp. What is his name? Kunal Shah. So Kunal Shah become a WhatsApp CEO, global CEO. And of course, global CEO. Now suppose government have asked to ban something on WhatsApp and it is not being imposed. Then who will be put the jail? The Indian CEO of WhatsApp. The person who is looking operation of whom? WhatsApp in India. If Kunal Shah is not only global CEO, but he is also effectively looking the operations of WhatsApp in India, then he will be liable for that jail. Fine. This provision means that, of course, in India, it is not easy to send the people to the jail. Fine. But rule says this. The IT Rule 2021, Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code add 3-tier governance mechanism and significant social media intermediary obligation. Fine. This is also in the news, but as of right now, it is not in the news. So I'm not going to discuss in detail, but I'm giving you this on record. This is again going to be in the current affairs. Fine. Because there is an ongoing tussle between whom? Ongoing tussle between center and the state, as well as social media platform versus the state. Fine. So it will come again, we will discuss. Now see, here I have clearly mentioned for you Shreya Shinghal versus Union of India case struck down Article 66 Clause A, but upheld the Section 69 Clause A as a constitutional because it has narrow grounds, written, reason and procedural safeguard. Though this is already what? Struck down, but you should know. That is why I have mentioned here, Section 66A of the Information Technology Act was controversial provision that criminalized sending offensive or menacing messages via computer or communication device. It prescribed up to 3 years in prison for content deemed to cause annoyance, inconvenience. Supreme Court of India declared 66A unconstitutional and struck down its entirely on March 24, 2015 in a landmark judgment of whom? Shreya Shinghal case. So Shreya Shinghal case you should remember because it has struck down which clause? 66A of which act? Information Technology Act. But it have allowed which one? 69A. But while allowing 69A, it has put what? Proportionality test was crystallized in Modern Dental College versus State of Madhya Pradesh, also known as Puttaswamy case. Fine. So here, government Supreme Court have set proportionality test, and this proportionality test This proportionality test is going to be on certain things. What are those things? Number one, legitimate goal. So what is your goal for putting that ban? What is your goal? Second thing, sustainability or rational connection. What is rational connection in this regard? Just give me a second. Hello. Now, see, so first is legitimate goal. So what is your purpose? What is your goal to put this ban? Second is saying that sustainability or rational connection. Ban, why you want to put a ban? And is that ban is going to fulfill that purpose which you are stating? So I am stating that I want to ban Telegram because I have this fear or I have this credible information. Telegram is being used for that purpose. So if it is not creating a connection between leak of the NEET question paper and the usage of Telegram, then again court is going to stuck down this ban. Third, necessity, least restrictive means. Is it really necessary? Without going to ban it, you are not able to control the leaking of the question paper. So it is not you are going to tell that because of this. You have to say that, you have to explain the court. Court will examine what? Court will examine if it is not being banned, then it is definitely going to create a problem. So ban will implement only when court will find that without banning it, it is not going to be possible. If it is possible even without ban, court is going to say no ban. Court is going to ban when court is going to find that without banning it, the activity cannot be stopped. So until unless Telegram is not going to be banned, it is not possible to conduct free and fair NEET exam. So government have to prove it. If not, you are not fulfilling the third criteria. Fourth one, balancing the competing rights. Balancing the competing right means, so if I will ban it, is public is going to completely denied the access of microblogging and social media? If so, then that ban will be not justified. This ban will be not justified. This is why blocking the YouTube is almost impossible in India, because YouTube is the only source where you can go for a lengthy communication between you and anyone in the world. So YouTube, fine. You now see reels of Instagram. Reels आता क्या आता है उस पे? Reels होता है ना? और Instagram पे YouTube is shorts and Instagram is reels. So suppose if you are going to ban the Instagram, fine. Still people are having micro videos. They can use what platform? YouTube platform. And they can post what? क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Shorts. They can post shorts. If you are not able to post the reels, you can post what? Shorts. Do you remember TikTok? So TikTok was banned by the government. Fine. So when the TikTok was banned, that was challenged. कि अरे हम जिएंगे कैसे? How I am going to live without TikTok? Because certain people breathe with the TikTok. Fine. So that was also tested. But still, if you are going to ban the TikTok, still you can go for micro video posting by using YouTube as well as Instagram. But if there is a certain platform, is the only platform, then it is not going to be banned because of this balancing the competing rights. Fine. Now, Anuradha Basin versus Union of India case 2020 added a internet shutdown. Blocking orders must be reasoned, published, time-bound, and subject to periodic review. Fine, subject to periodic review. So now these days, if any area is going to have a public order issue, fine, or some protests are going on, government immediately do what? Internet ban. Internet is being banned. But now Anuradha Basin case, fine, Anuradha Basin case is also going to make sure government's internet shutdown should not be arbitrary in the nature. So Shreya Singhal case and Puttaswamy case, they put what test? Proportionality test. And that proportionality test have 4 things: legitimate goal, sustainable, rational, connect, necessity, and balancing competing rights. Anuradha Basin case do what? Anuradha Basin case also added this thing to which case? Internet ban. So internet ban also come under the same preview. Now, here, telegram order must be tested again 4 prongs, particularly less restrictive alternative. Fine, less restrictive alternative limit. Now, judgment reflects modern regulatory dilemma. Digital platform can be both infrastructure for legitimate communication and tool for organized fraud. Proportionality requires a legitimate aim, sustainability, necessity, and balancing. The court saw the restrictions as a temporary and connected to the preserving exam integrity. So the main reason why court have allowed this ban, upheld this case, because it is what? Temporary in the nature. If government have said that ki permanent ban, fine, then might be something different is going to happen. Now, in short, I have mentioned all the prelims point also. So tell me one thing, is this format is okay for you? Is this format is okay for you, where the news related to the core area, the debate, and the prelims pointer, and towards the end related to the mains question? Fine, how you can use in the mains examination and what point you have to focus. Avoid one-sided conclusion. State's duty is to protect exam integrity, but the burden of the proof must remain high when lawful users are also affected. So, if the question is going to ask you, ki was telegram ban was right or wrong, what you will say? Right or wrong? If the question is being asked, ki the ban on the telegram was right or wrong, see, whenever it is such kind of question is being asked, fine, then you have to say on certain qualification it is right. Fine, when you feel that it is right, fine, so on qualified basis it is right. So see, main thing in the exam is when they are going to ask, do you feel it is right or wrong? Fine, so you need not to feel only right and you do not need to feel only wrong. Certain conditions can be used to justify it, whereas certain conditions should be mentioned to oppose it. So here, simple, I have mentioned, avoid what? One-sided conclusion. You can favor the ban, but at the same time, you also have to ensure ban should be only on what? Temporary basis, because it is the responsibility of the government to ensure such exams should be conducted without any problems. But it doesn't mean that the state have the power to block all the legitimate uses. Fine. So I was posting only Telegram. What? I am posting only those important news related to international relations on our Telegram channel. I'm not doing any paper leaks. Why I'm being punished? Why I'm being punished? Why you will be punished? If you are using that platform for your personal usage only, you are not doing any illegal activity. So those who are not doing any illegal activity, why they will be punished? Fine. So this need to be qualified by whom? This need to be qualified by the government, So that is why this I have mentioned. And see, one more question. Can platform level blocking to be constitutionally justified in the exceptional circumstances examined in the light of section 69A, proportionality and digital right? Might be this question come in the serious mains examination. Fine. So if it will come, I also going to leak the UPSC question paper. Right? So this is good question. Do you want to attempt? Do you want to attempt? If you will attempt, I'll provide the model answer. But that depends upon what? That depends upon your ability. Now, UGC NEET undergraduate NEET exam retest and institutional accountability in the examination. Fine. Telegram ban related e-news hai. Fine. That is related to what? Telegram ban. So, re-examination was happened because the exam was being cancelled. Anyone have given the exam? UG exam? No. All civil service aspirants are here. Institutional and statutory background. Fine. NEET UG is conducted under which? National Medical Commission NMC Act 2019, which replaced Medical Council of India and made NEET is a single qualifying exam under section 14 of NMC Act. Read with section D. So here more information is there. Basically, I have mentioned this thing regarding this one. The Radhakrishnan Committee 2024 recommended encrypted multi-mode question delivery, fine, anomaly detection software, district level confidentiality protocols and standing anti-cheating cell at NTA. Fine. So NTA is what? National Test Agency. So regarding National Test Agency, see, National Test Agency is in the news. Fine. And they want to be remain in the news. Fine. They are just not in the news. They want to be remain in the news. And you can be remain in the news by two things. Either doing good things or going to bad things. And NTA have decided to remain in the news for good things. Fine, good things, but they will turn into the bad things. Why? Because they are not able to ensure the exam should be conducted on free basis and it is not going to have any discrepancy. So this is why NTA is in the news. Radhakrishnan Committee recommended the encrypted multimodal question delivery. Encrypted means? Encryption means? What encryption means? Huh? When you are going to make that communication going to be read only by those who are being destined to read it or receive it, then it is called a encryption. Fine. Especially what happens in those houses where the small kids are there, who are of the age of 5 or 6 years old. Fine. And imagine a situation where some guests have came to the house and they are not leaving. Husband wife cannot communicate directly, so they have started using the WhatsApp message. Fine, WhatsApp message. And wife have this message to her husband ki when they will go. They are sitting here on my head for past 4 hours and they are not going. And this message was sent to her husband. But her husband's phone was in the hand of the kid. And he started reading loudly. He started reading loudly. So that message need to be encrypted or not. Fine. Though that message was encrypted. WhatsApp provide end-to-end encryption. What is end-to-end encryption? Encrypted message means the message is being coded, which cannot be decoded by anyone easily. Fine. But it can be decoded at where? At the server. So how you are communicating? Two people are communicating. Two people have a mobile phones. That is not direct communication among them. It is happening to the server. So is the person who is sitting on the server can read the message? Yes or no? Do you know? Earlier they can read. I have personally seen that. One of the friend who was working in the idea. So he invited, he come to the office, we will go back to the evening. Fine. So we went there. And you can literally check who is sending what SMS. Fine. So that era belongs to the SMS era. Okay? And that SMS era, like people are using the message service like Instagram and other things. Okay? आप भी message भेजते हो, ठीक है? Friends को message देते हो और dash dash. Fine. So you can literally see who is sending what message. Fine. So though it is what? It is encrypted message, but it is visible at where? It is visible at the server. So when the end-to-end encryption is there, end-to-end encryption is going to ensure that message cannot be read at any point. And that is why it is called as end-to-end encryption. Fine. But even the message is end-to-end encrypted, still government can force the service provider to go for jailbreak. Means government can force those companies to provide even the encrypted communication between two people. Fine. Under the land of the law. So even Google is telling you, sir, it is 100% safe and secure communication. But Donald Trump can read your message if he want. It doesn't matter what kind of the encryption is being provided by the company. But if the government will force them, and that is why US intelligence is very powerful intelligence. Why? Majority of the tech companies, Google, Microsoft, artificial intelligence, all these tech-based companies are related from where? US. So US have a capacity. This lecture which we are delivering here, they can access all the cameras, they can access each and everything related to you and me from the internet. Fine. Why? Because this encryption do not qualify to the national security law. So under national security law, you can force to certain providing agencies. Fine. For example, Apple. So Apple devices are highly secure devices. Apple account, once it is being logged, it is not very easy to retain the data from it. Then the phone will go to whom? The phone will go to the particular security agency, and they will write a proper authorized letter. Under that phone is going to be broken. Broken means they will extract the information. Otherwise, information is never being available through the iPhone. And that is why people also use the iPhone for that purpose. Fine. More secure than which device? Android device. Okay. So this is about end-to-end encryption. Now, see. Yes. Criminal biometric matter. So criminal biometric matter means what? Recently, government have allowed to collect the data which is related to what data? Biometric data. So what comes under the biometric data? Iris, thumb impression, fingerprints, and facial recognition, and DNA. DNA also comes. DNA also comes under this biometric profiling. Yes or no? DNA also comes under. And do you know that Indian Air Force specifically go for DNA profiling of all their personnel? Reason? Sometimes in unfortunate air crashes, like recently N-32 was crashed in Assam. Fine. And unfortunately, very unfortunately, our 4 of the personnel have died. Now, sometimes these accidents are so freak, even you cannot recognize whose body is. Then what you need? You need a DNA. So this is why DNA profiling usually happens. Now, government want DNA profiling of every criminals also, so that they can be identified easily. Because plastic surgeries and other ways are being there in order to hide their identity. You have already seen in multiple movies. ठीक है? पूरी identity क्या कर दिया? Change कर दिया. But you cannot change what? DNA. Fine. Even fingerprints are being what? Possible to camouflage. Iris scan, it cannot be camouflaged. Fine. So this is why DNA profiling But DNA profiling is also a very costly affair. Fine. So as of right now, India do not have any clear-cut policy related to DNA profiling. DNA profiling related one bill was presented in the parliament, but that bill was lapsed in 2023, and that is why as of right now we do not have any policy related to DNA. I have mentioned here. Fine. So first of all, NCRB. What is NCRB? National Crime Record Bureau. So National Crime Record Bureau, Abhigyan app. So what is Abhigyan app? Prelims related question. Abhigyan app is basically an app which is developed by whom? NCRB. For what purpose? To collecting the data. Fine. Linked to National Automated Fingerprint Identification System. Was repeated to enable field level fingerprinting matching against a large national database. So you are walking on the street, some policeman came and they asked, I need your fingerprint, and your fingerprint is being matched, and they are going to take you with themselves. Chalo bhai, hame to pata hi nahi tha. ठीक है, we got the jackpot. Fine, we got the jackpot. How they got the jackpot? They got the jackpot. Imagine airports, bus stops, all public transportations are enabled with this fingerprint system. Anyone who is entering in that area, their fingerprint is required. Now, because without fingerprint, you cannot enter into that public transportation. You cannot enter to those public places. And your fingerprint database is maintained at some place. And those criminals who are involved in the criminal activity, their fingerprint is also being there. They can immediately track and trace where they are. The moment they are going to be enter in any public transportation mode where the fingerprint is being enabled, immediately they will be tracked that they are at this location. So for this purpose, government want to enable it so that those who are involved in the criminal activities, they can be caught. But as of right now, it is happening only in the police station. Now government is looking for what? Field level fingerprint matching system. So this is what government feels that in order to bring down the crime and to bring those people to the justice, it is required. But again, it is related to what? It is related to your privacy. So shall I give my fingerprints to the government on voluntary basis? Shall I give the fingerprints on voluntary basis? Have you ever given your fingerprint on the voluntary basis? Yes or no? Have you given or not? Fingerprint on a voluntary basis? Yes, without that, how you can have a Aadhaar card? How you can get an Aadhaar card without that? Aadhaar card is going to take both fingerprint as well as what? Iris. Have you seen your photo on Aadhaar card? Do you like it? Your own photo. So the moment you feel that I am very handsome and charming, fine? Just see your Aadhaar card photo, then you realize the reality. So I used to say this thing in the class, like usually sometimes students say that, sir, I am not able to focus because I am falling in love. Fine. So I said, go and see her Aadhaar card photo. Fine. So if you are going to have a real love, that is only when you are having a love with the Aadhaar card photo of the person. But see the fact, Aadhaar card is something which is going to collect all of your data. Fine. Fingerprint as well as iris. So if this data is going to be leaked, fine, this data is going to be leaked. Anyone can get all the information related to you. Now these days, scammers are doing what basically? They mimic the Aadhaar card information to trick you. Fine. So usually it is a privacy related issue. Fine. But remember that this is also one more issue. Now these days, online frauds and scams are basically identity-based scam. Identity-based scam, how? So what they do, they mimic your identity. So biometric data is not only just a privacy concern. Biometric data now these days, not just a privacy concern, it also become a concern for safety and security, especially for women. Fine, it is very sensitive case right now around the world, and especially in India where the biometric data is easily available. People in the rural areas, people in the semi-urban areas, those people who are from the civil society, they hesitate to give the data. In the rural area, in the semi-urban areas, authorities not going to hesitate. They will force you to provide the data. You cannot question them. They will question you. That means you are suspect. That is why you are not providing the data. Fine. For example, when a person is being asking to provide your mobile number for the bill. We need your mobile number for the bill. Majority of the people in India, they will give their mobile number for billing purpose. Sir, bill will come your mobile phone. I do not want that bill on my mobile phone. I want a physical bill. Provide me the physical bill. Sir, we do not have that. You have. You must have. You cannot make this false claim that bill will be only provided in the online mode. Bill must be given in the hard copy. So you can force them to provide the hard copy bill. There is no law is going to prevent you to get your hard copy of the bill, the physical copy of the bill. You can claim it. But for the convenience, they ask this. But usually what happened? They say in the authoritative manner, we need your mobile number for this purpose. So that happens. In the store, he said that, sir, provide your mobile number. He is even not looking at me. Fine. And he's asking to provide the mobile number. I said, look at me first. What do you want? Your mobile number. For what purpose? For the bill. I said, I do not have any mobile number. I do not have any mobile number. I am a mobile-less person. Or mere haath mein mobile tha. I was having the phone in my hand. I said, I do not have any mobile number. I use this device for enjoyment. I do not have a mobile number, and I'm not going to give any other alternative number also. And I want the bill here on the counter. He provided. He provided. But after that, rest of the people who are in the queue, they realize that bill can be given in the hard copy format. Basically, your mobile numbers are being used for the marketing purpose. So these databases are being sold. Usually 5 rupees, 10 rupees for each mobile number, depend upon your transaction. If you purchase something with related to 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, then it is not going to be very worthy data. But someone who purchased 30, 40,000 rupees worth good. Fine. That means the person is having a purchasing capacity. And that person can be traced by whom? Marketing agencies. So that data is being sold. Fine. So even email ID you can refuse. You have to provide me the physical copy, that's it. Fine. So now these days, it is not just related to the privacy matter. Data is also related to avoid and prevention of any kind of the scam which might be possible to happen with you. So this is also an angle. Now see, here Criminal Procedure Identity Act 2022 replaced the Identification Prisoners Act 1920, and it allows the collection of measurements such as fingerprint, palm print, footprints, photograph, iris, and retina scans, physical and biological samples, and behavioral attributes from specified category of a person. So when they ask you, stand like this, fine, up your hand, move. So all these are going to be recorded. Fine, it can be recorded to see your walking pattern, your voice pattern, your physical pattern, triads. All these can be stored legally under the law. Now, the key sections related to it, though it is not very important from the exam point of view, just for in context, here the main important thing is what? Privacy and data protection framework. As I mentioned, legality, legitimate state aim, proportionality, and procedural safeguard. So in the earlier example, I have explained about 4 parts of this proportionality. But as I stated in the beginning, Puttoswamy case have put 4 plus 4 condition. So these are the first 4 condition, and under that proportionality have further 4 condition. Fine, which is legitimate goal, rational nexus, necessity, and balancing. So these are 4 things under what? Proportionality. But proportionality itself is a part of 4 different aspects which is put under which case? Puttoswamy case. Fine. So this is why this portion is very important. So actually the main purpose was not the criminal news. One, you should know the Abhigyan app. For what purpose? Who is developing that app? National Crime Record Bureau. Fine. They are making this record. Under which app? Abhigyan app. नाम क्या रखा है? Abhigyan. Fine. So Abhigyan app is not for the purpose of providing knowledge to common people, because see, name is little bit creating a confusion in the mind. Might be this app for social usage purpose. App is for what purpose? Storing the criminal record related things. So this is why you should have a clarity in the mind. App is for what purpose? Second thing, apart from knowing this, you should understand this portion of the proportionality test, basically related to what? Basically related to right to privacy in India. So the two four-fold tests are therefore nested, not competing. The privacy test asks 4 threshold questions. The third of those proportionality is answered by running the 4-prong sub-test. Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDP Act 2023 is omnibus data protection law, but exempts processing in the interest of prevention, detection, investigation, or prosecution of any offense. So you have a right. Digital data protection law provide you the protection of your digital identity and your data. So your data and digital identity both are protected, but there is an exception to it, that is prevention, detection, investigation, prosecution. So see those 4 words. Prevention. So prevention means, so to prevent something, government can collect your data. To detect something, fine, in order to detect something, they can collect your data. For investigation purpose, they can collect your data. And for prosecution purpose. So prosecution means what? Now the charges are being framed on you and you are going to be prosecuted in the court. So that is final stage. But before that, like for example, what they have did in this recent sensational case of Ford. Fine. So they have went for a suspicion of a person why he is wearing a hoodie and cap in such a hot summer month. So that has created a suspicion. Now with that, they have did what? They started putting in electronic surveillance to find out who this person is. And when they started tracking all the traces, then they came to know this person. And at that stage, still they have not made any revelation. Then they have put further electronic surveillance to trace the messages and calls and WhatsApp messages between these two people. And when they found that there are a consistent call between these two persons who are being there, then they established this fact. So police have made this sensational claim only after overcoming of what? Digital Personal Data Protection Act. So they have used this prevention, detection, investigation, and prosecution. So in this case, police have used what? The detection and investigation purpose to overcome your Digital Personal Data Act. Understood? Now, regarding DNA, I have also mentioned DNA Technology Use and Application Regulation Bill 2019, lapsed in 2023, was proposed to set up DNA data bank at the national and regional level with the DNA Regulation Board, but has not been enacted. So see, when the question will be in the exam, people are under pressure. Fine. In such condition, if you have studied in the current affairs, the government have, NCRBC have did this and they have one application in order to collect all the data. So the data collection of the DNA is also legitimized or not. In India, is there any law which is regulate the DNA collection? Do we have any law which regulate the DNA collection in India? If I'll ask this question to you right now, what will you say? Yes or no? Do we have any law to regulate the DNA collection? Answer is no. we do not have any specific law with respect to collection of DNA samples. Means as of right now, if any authority will ask you, कि we want to collect your DNA, you can firmly refuse. It is purely on what? Administrative and voluntary basis, because there is no obligation on a person under any law to provide their DNA sample. And it is the big problem. It needs to be resolved, but as usual, such issues are not going to take the center stage in countries, developing countries like India, but it is regulatory requirement. But as of right now, we do not have any regulatory mechanism for DNA collection in India. So have this thing in the mind clearly. Fingerprints, iris, palm, fine, thumb, each and everything is legalized under various laws. But still there is no law which governs what profiling? DNA profiling. DNA data collection, not profiling, sorry. DNA data collection is not being legitimized. So any person in India can outrightly refuse or reject for request of data, DNA data. Fine. Now, here again the prelims points are mentioned. Fine. And at the end, here, possible question, technology-led policing can strengthen investigation but also deepen surveillance, critically examined with reference to the biometric database in India. So, of course, whenever investigation can be strengthened by being use of technology. What technology? Like Abhigyan app. So now see why the mains is difficult. In this context, you have to give an example of which app? Abhigyan app. So see, there are two students who are going to write this question, attempt this question. One student is going to write surveillance and Indian state. Fine? See, listen first. You can write the question later, listen first. So two students are going to attempt this question. One is saying that country like India, who is facing multiple kind of the security challenges at internal and external level. External level challenges are visible and clear, and we have a clear-cut tackling doctrine when we are dealing with China, Pakistan, but the internal threats are more severe in the nature and they are not properly visible, like drug menace, fine, crime against women. So in such cases, there is a need to strengthen the investigation by using the best technology available. And in this regard, government have started collecting the data of the people, the fingerprint data. So fingerprint data is being collected by the government, but still it creates a question on data privacy. So if government is going to arbitrarily collect the data of every person, it might be used for other purpose and it might be used for illegal purpose and it can create a privacy breach. So such things need to be avoided and government should act in the appropriate manner. You have used very good words, but is there any data and substance in this statement? No data, no substance, no example, you are going to get only 1 or 2 marks. Doesn't matter you have wrote very good words, आपको 2 marks से कम मिलेगा ही नहीं. And then students come and they say कि sir marks नहीं मिला. Why you will get the marks? You have not mentioned single law, you have not mentioned single initiative of the government, you have not mentioned any existing debate. Just saying this कि there is a debate in India, privacy versus investigation. What nonsense is this? Just mentioning this and you are expecting they are going to give you the marks. Mention Sri Single case, mention Puttaswamy case, mention DPDP Act, mention the court's judgment, then you are going to give a substance to that debate. Just mentioning there is a debate in India, ये मिलेगा marks. नहीं देगा marks वो. They are not going to give the marks. You must have to give an example. Any statement without an example is going to give you 0 marks. So if you are mentioning 5 points, introduction, 5 points and conclusion. So introduction and conclusion fetch only going to give you 3. 7 marks based on point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, point number 4, point number 5. And every point should be supported by what? examples, data. Otherwise, see, if you are concerned with the DPDP and privacy, fine, state surveillance versus DPDP. So data protection versus state surveillance. Do you think students who are appearing for the mains examination, they are unaware of this debate? Everyone is aware of this debate. But who is more aware? Who is less aware? That depends upon what example, what data, what facts, what report you are going to mention. Fine. So the state integrity with respect to conducting the exam on free and fair basis. But if you are not mentioning Radhakrishnan committee's recommendation, you cannot expect the good marks. So bhai, aapko work karna padega. You have to do that work. And that is why in this document, I have highlighted. I have taken the class last Saturday, when I have taken the class, I promised you to provide 15 days, all the information. So this is what there. Fine. This is the information. And here I have covered, if you'll see here, this is up to what? 20 to 26 June. Fine. So 20 to 26 June, I have covered. But if you'll see, I have covered all the news which is related to the different area, and especially for you, I have highlighted all those important news and put in the box. How to use in the mains examination, what possible challenges you are going to face, this is all about it. But one thing I just want to let you know, here, mistakenly, I have put more information which is not required for you. So remember that certain information in this document is for context purpose, not exam ready information. So all the exam ready information, it is highlighted here in a prelims pointer. So the prelims pointer is an exam related information. These prelims pointer, it can be used at where? For example, 42nd Amendment 1976 shifted education from state list entry number 11 to which list? Concurrent list entry number 25. Fine. So this information is not just a prelims information. The same information you can write on the issue of 3-language policy. So if the mains question is on 3-language policy, the same information can be used there. So remember that any prelims point which you are going to memorize or remember, they are going to be better used at where? Mains examination also. So you should not think this information which I have memorized or I have remembered, it is only for this exam, mains exam or prelims exam only. All the information can be cross-used in the prelims exam as well as mains examination. Fine. So this file I'll share with you tomorrow. Not today. Tomorrow you will get this file, number 1, and 2 questions. No, I will share this time. She's smiling because she came and she requested I have not shared. So she's thinking I am not going to share this time. This time I have the PDF. Last time I was not having the PDF. And I'll tell you honestly, because of the mains examination, little bit more occupied. So not having the appropriate time. But I have prepared this PDF. I'll share with you tomorrow. Fine. Number 1. Number 2, the 3 questions which I have given you here, you can attempt these 3 questions and submit for the evaluation to the 3rd floor. Evaluators are there. Fine. And you will get an evaluation by them. Meanwhile, I'll prepare the model answer. I'll share with you also. So by the time you are going to get your evaluated answers, you will also get the model answer. Fine. So all these things means this PDF by tomorrow and rest of the thing by Tuesday. You will get it. Fine. So this format is better or just explaining that is better? This format is better? Fine. So I will further reform this format. I will add more information. I'll try to add questions also. So from next class onwards, I will add questions also which you can attempt directly in the class. So I'll explain and immediately you can go to the sheet which is shared with you in advance so that you can attempt those questions also and consolidate your knowledge. Fine. Okay. Thank you. See you in the next class.